Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Renegade Operative. Finally that fucking rainstorm ended, right? That knocked out my power for like literally almost an hour, so I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna do this video, get this video out, but it's all over now. Hopefully you guys are safe, and we will be covering some of the impressions for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that was officially posted online. Apparently it seems like Rocksteady was flying people out to the event. They had a big event for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and social media outlets, influencers, and reviewers and people from publication sites like IGN, GameSpot, Game Informer, they managed to sit down with the game for what, 5 hours and give their first overall impressions of those 5 hours of the game at that event. We're going to deep dive into what was said, talk about some of the hilarious quotes, and also give my overall expression and opinion on how I'm going to approach this game come launch day. Anyway, we're gonna talk about IGN. IGN was the most negative. They said, unfortunately for Suicide Squad, once the story bits end, you're left with a much less inspired combat system and an open world filled with tedious tasks. GameSpot said, ambitious but conflicted. Game Informer said, emerging from my play session, I feel much more confident in Rocksteady's long-awaited follow-up in the acclaimed Arkham series. But I still have several questions, but even with those hesitations about post-launch support and monetization, I still have February 2nd circled. Games Radar, I went in with no expectations and was very surprised by how much fun I had with it. Is it the most groundbreaking thing ever? No, but is it lots of fun? And I guess the answer to them is yes. Now we have YouTuber impressions. This is from J Shock Blast. The game is what it is. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. If you can get over the hump, most people will be pleasantly surprised. It is a very well together put game. Now, this is from Uncaged Games. There are things I don't like about the game, but there is a lot that I do like. The gameplay in Suicide Squad is more enjoyable than what I was expecting. Eurogamer, it's clear that Rocksteady is keen to try something new with Suicide Squad while remaining tied to the studio's past, but as an online shooter with live service elements, it is trend chasing more than it is sticking to what the studio does best. Comic Historian, I enjoy Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League because it's not an Arkham game. It's like if Crackdown met Fortnite. Lejeune, gameplay is something I'm very critical of because the gameplay is the most important thing and will keep people coming back. When it comes to Suicide Squad, the gameplay is really smooth. Caboose, the gameplay is actually pretty fun, but sometimes too much is happening on screen. So it seems like there is a lot of people saying that it's fun, and obviously from the alpha impressions that we saw online from Twitter, a lot of those individuals were saying that the game was fun. There are things that need to be worked out and addressed, but overall they were having a good time with it. Is it a masterpiece? No. And they were questioning the post-launch support for the live service stuff because, once again, WB is a studio going in a live service, games as a service direction, which honestly I made videos on, and I said the gamers are going to chop their heads off anyway because not all companies can do live service content. How it pans out for this game, I guess it is sort of a question mark. It remains to be seen, a Riddler question mark at best, but we're going to go to some of the impending thoughts and some of the funny stuff. Also, Kane Oder also made an impression as well. He said he didn't get to experience a big chunk of the entire game, but he said, and he's talking about, I guess he's talking about like the loot system and everything and how they handle the looter shooter elements with poison resistance and people asking him those very distinct questions. I didn't get to experience much of it. They gave us a ton of super OP stuff to show possibilities, but obviously those are like rare items that have unique abilities. So it's like, skip to the fun part already, give me the cool overpowered shit. I say that it feels fleshed out enough and not half-assed like Avengers. So this comment is very interesting because there's a lot of comparisons saying that it's gonna be the next Avengers and bad as Avengers, but this guy's like, oh, it's not really half-assed at all and it feels fleshed out. So that's an interesting comment. IGN also said, oh, I don't think players will be comfortable with the morality actions the Suicide Squad takes. And it's like, well, you know, it is the Suicide Squad, right? It is Task Force X gone into fucking filing a mission and, you know, kill people under Waller's name and do the job, do the wet work, get in and get out. That is a weird criticism, but it is funny that someone posted the meme of No Russian from Modern Warfare 2, and it's like, oh, let's just go down and let's mow down the Justice League. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the funny stuff centering around IGN's comments. We have Keith talking about, oh, I watched IGN's early review of the Suicide Squad, and a lot of it was wishing it was like Arkham and angry you had to kill the Justice League. The only good thing they said was that the customization and builds may have a lot of depth, which is the only thing I really care about. So it seems like a lot of people tend to, or they were gravitating towards this IGN preview because it's the most negative one. So therefore the narrative is going to be used and weaponize that instead. Now here's the thing, I don't think that IGN is a great publication. I think they are honestly garbage, like most game journalists, if I'm going to brutally be honest, because in my personal opinion, there is a delineation point between hardcore gamer and game journalist, and if you don't see that that delineation point is there, you have been under a rock for years. We have been making fun of game journalists for playing a game terribly all of the time. It's just common knowledge. It seems like it's two different worlds when you talk about the opinions and sort of analysis and assessment of hardcore gamer who delves into everything, and game journalists that will rush out you know, their impressions for a review and try to get it out there as fast as possible, and they might miss details in the process due to that. We've seen that happen before, time in and time out. Now, it's not to say that they aren't entitled to giving their impressions and letting it be known to the world, because that's obviously what they're gonna do. That's what they're paid for. But I'm just saying, it feels like two different worlds entirely to me. And for a hardcore gamer to try to use IGN as gospel is kind of weird. In my personal opinion, there's been games that IGN, games and comics actually, because I remember they gave like Death of Superman like a very low score, and I covered it on the channel. I'm talking about like the animated movie, and I covered it on the channel, and they were talking like very skeezy about that movie, and I love that movie. I loved also God Hand. God Hand was a little Capcom beat 'em up back in the day, where an IGN reviewer actually gave it like a 3 out of 10, where they actually had to rescind that review, do it over, and rate the game again because the score was way too low. People were complaining about it. People were saying this is a great game, a lot of death, get good, skill issue, the stuff that usually comes out with reviews like that. And there's always, remember, too much water as well. Like, there's always that delineation point where it seems like criticisms from IGN makes no sense, but the hardcore gamers who utilize and weaponize this narrative of IGN saying something and going with it as gospel also makes no sense, because I was under the impression that you people hated IGN, right? So it's quite funny how it all pans out at the end of the day with people agreeing with them in their sort of preview here. That being said, it's quite funny that the little interviewer, I think his name is Dustin, or the little previewer, or whatever his name is, Dustin was talking about the game, and he was talking about the Flash fight, and he said, oh, they were summarizing this on X, saying that they were complaining about the Flash fight, the boss fight, that you fight the Flash with, kill the Justice League, and people are shooting him and all sorts of crazy shit is happening. and the Scarlet Speedster is too fast to hit. The guy had to go in deeper detail, and I think his wording was shit, but honestly, he said the fight is annoying. I pointed out that it makes sense that they would do this for the Flash because he's the Scarlet Speedster, but the fight was bad. I think you just should have named it properly or said something else, not say, oh, the Flash is too fast, I can't hit him. Just say that the fight, you know, and I know he said this, but say that the fight was just inherently not good. And I think just those implications of, oh, he's going too fast, I can't hit him, shit like that. And there's this great comment here by Tricks Ridiculous, and he says the funniest thing is that if the Flash didn't move around so fast, the criticism would be that he doesn't feel like the Flash at all. There was no winning in this situation. It is a catch-22. It's like, okay, if he doesn't move around enough, then the boss fight is piss easy, and therefore you would complain about it anyway. It'd be the same criticism. I want this guy moving around quick, and just, it seems like from the gameplay alone, he stands to charge up the Speed Force. That's the perfect opportunity to hit the Flash, right? Wait until he stands in the center, charge up a little bit, puncture his lungs with bullets. That's what I would do. At least when you consider the characterization, it makes good meme material.
Take the shot already!
That's the Flash? You might as well post him the bullet.
Did you get him?
Speed demon!
Man, you know it's gone to hell when you went. Really? Why don't you just mail me the bullet?
It's also equivalent to someone just taking it and saying, oh man, you know, Superman is really, really strong in this fight. I don't think he should knock around the Justice League. Just have him stay still so I can hit him. Whole entire time that fight be like,
I'm the strongest motherfucker in the world, bitch!
so there was this big war of, was it really a skill issue or legit constructive feedback? You be the judge. It's just quite funny they worded it that way. Moving on to IGN. Apparently this IGN guy is just going off. He broke NDA apparently of this whole shit, and they just let him go with it. Like, I'm sure they're not gonna get, well, maybe they'll get penalized. I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna like say they won't, but apparently there was stuff that he wasn't supposed to talk about. Never mind, he's just breaking NDA, referring to the cutoff point in the alpha where you get stuck in the middle of chapter 2. Just flat out. And it seems like what they need to do is they need to let alpha players break their NDAs. Let them go on the fucking internet, right? The internet, okay, the internet. Let them go on the fucking internet. Let them talk about their experience, because I'm dying to talk about this game with the stuff that I liked and the stuff that I didn't, but I can't do that because I'm under alpha NDA, which means I can't tell you guys really anything of how I personally feel about my own impressions of the game. If this guy at IGN really broke NDA of an event where they clearly told him the rules, why can't I talk about it to promote the game more in that sense of what I liked and what I didn't? It makes no fucking sense. It really doesn't. They need to let people talk about this game, and I'm sure the positive influencers talking about this game is going to once again boost up and gravitate the game just like it did when the alpha was going down and people were actively breaking NDA. Like, is it even fair that the more hyped up influencers and the other guys and the little guys, the other bigger guys out there, well, I mean, we have these previews, but I'm talking about just the ones that never went to this event. Is it fair that we're still sitting here under NDA for the alpha? I think it's time to talk. I think it's time to put out a public beta. I think it's time to put out that other Insider, part 3 of the Insider for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, because one really valid criticism I have here is how slow the drip feed has been for information. Like, you could get ahead of a lot of these things and a lot of these impressions could go out more and more and more if you lifted the alpha NDA. Come on now. And there were people breaking NDA, getting banned left and right, talking, and it was a positive moment for Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. But I gotta sit here and be quiet about my first impressions, and it's just not fair. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't love that behavior. The thing that's gonna push this game for what you're going for, which is this looter shooter element of long time live service, like longevity. The people pushing this game are the people that are interested in it, and they want to see more of it, and they want to talk more of it, and we cannot do that. That is very frustrating to me, and I'm very like pro Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. I actually really am pro for this game. I want this game to succeed. I want this game to do well. I find it interesting. I find it fascinating. You know, I don't think that all live service games are trash like most people do out there. There's good live service games like Fortnite. I play fucking Fortnite. I enjoy that shit. This game looks and reminds me of Sunset Overdrive. And if it is like Sunset Overdrive with Fortnite, with Borderlands, I'm gonna eat this shit up like white on rice. In order for me to talk in deeper details about it, you need to lift the NDA, which is what I said from the beginning when I talked about this game. I wish I could tell you guys how I really feel, but I can't do that. They did open up the Discord to questions, so you see it right here. If you want to click on the link and give them questions, you can do that. I just want to talk about it so fucking badly, and I can't. We need better communication in the gaming industry for 2024, and Miller is right here. Even Miller is saying this. You can't turn your nose up if you know there is a subset of people that like your game. You need all eyes on it as much as possible, and you need to have them impressions out like as soon as possible. So I agree, while this event is a good thing, it's probably not the greatest for everyone else that has to stay silent, and they have been adhering to NDA. Let's see. Then we got a couple of guys complaining about the HUD, and Miller is clarifying that you can like fix the HUD to your liking, which is good. It means that it's just going to be a non-issue. I mean, just fix the HUD yourself to look how you want it to look, and there is no issue, there's no problem, right? You could just do that, and it'll be left alone. I can see if it was a mandatory HUD, you couldn't change it, you couldn't make it limited, you couldn't do any elements. But if you could do elements to your liking, then I mean, we're complaining about small potatoes that you could personally change. So I don't see that as a big issue. I know, oh man, people were roasting this guy so hard about this IGN interview in preview. It's just, oh my god, it's just a complete culling. Let's see, what did I miss? They're talking about more of this guy. Oh, he's talking about being knocked out of the animations when in the video where he's playing as King Shark, he gets hit by the Flash and he gets hit by Ivy's plant. He clearly jumped right into it. You can see this. Hold on, let me turn it down a bit.
WB.
Let me enhance this. Let me mute it so you can hear my commentary. But he jumps into the plant, which is, if they have like a poison corruption in this game, that means that Ivy's plants are being corrupted and they're going against her will, and that's not good. The first thing this moron does at IGN is he jumps right into the plant. Like, okay, and you talk about, oh, I'm knocked out of an animation. No, you jumped into it, bro. That's why people on X are saying, oh, skill issue, because look at what you literally just did. You jumped into an enemy plant, and you expect not to be clowned and made fun of. This is why I don't take IGN that seriously like other people do. This other one, it's like, oh, I'm knocked out of the animations. Well, it looks like Flash just clearly was faster than you. You didn't get out the way and you got hit by the red Kamehameha. It's just like, okay, sometimes like this is literally like Voldemort DSP levels. Like, if you fucking got hit and you know you got hit and you saw it and you could clearly avoid it, then take the loss, take the L, take the fucking backlash wave that comes with that, because once again, it's just skill issue at that point. So I do believe the IGN, that's his legit thought. He doesn't like how this is going, but I also think there is some skill issue there. There has to be. Like, if it was me in that situation as Harley, I guarantee you I would be moving like a crazy person. I wouldn't be directly in Flash's way if I could help it. Let's move on here. Just a lot of other stuff that I think I covered a good bulk of what they were saying. And like the guy said, if the Flash stood still to get hit, is no winning. If it is a badly designed fight, then I'm obviously going to tell people how I really feel about the game. I'm going to be doing a deep dive review of this game. I think it's going to be like maybe, I want to say 40 minutes. I don't know, maybe lesser than that. Maybe we'll see what happens when I look at the game. But to me, just to summarize everything, overall, it still sounds like it's fun. It's going to be a fun game, but it's going to be a cult classic experience. It's going to be a game that I see the critics not really liking, not really appreciating, but the average gamer is going to have fun with this game, and the critics are going to be like, well, you know, I don't really feel this, or stuff like that. I don't really feel how this is going. So I think the people who do like this game are going to be locked in, and the people that don't just won't. And it's gonna be like every typical game release that comes out. Like, you will have people that will love it, you will have people that will say, oh no fam, this is live service garbage, or all this other stuff, right? It just happens. It happens with most games, but I do think that the hate for this game is increasing to a crazy level, because we saw how people were weaponizing Kevin Conroy's death. We saw how people were going around and just apparently giving people threats because of the Conroy situation. Overall, just a really negative growing hive of toxicity around Kill the Justice League. In my personal opinion, I believe this whole IGN weaponization of their preview did nothing to sway my verdict. I'm still getting this game day one. I'm gonna tell you all about it day one, and honestly, like, all of this bickering about these previews, it just means nothing to me. I already made my mind up in terms of playing this game, experiencing this game, and wanting to play this game with friends. And if people are very pissed off and mad about that, I'm sorry about your day. Go eat some Wheaties, because it's a lot more that you could do with life, as opposed to being mad that someone buys a video game on the internet. It's just a little weird, fam. The way people overreact to a game that someone decides to buy at times is just a little strange. Like those people that were just a little strange when they decided to sexualize child poison ivy. It's just, again, some of these responses fly way too close to the sun before crashing and burning into a hot pile of magma. But I digress. At the end of the day, it's just a video game. It's just my entertainment, and the entertainment requires validation on the controller before saying that a publication like IGN shares my sentiment and is right all the time. And it's not like they haven't made stupid critiques in the past themselves. Oh yeah, totally, I'm going to listen to IGN. I'm sorry, I have my sarcasm tooth wedged right in. I think what matters is my own personal opinion, your own personal opinion after you've played the game, and that's the most valid and concerning thing to you. If you enjoy yourself in the process, don't feel dirty, don't hate yourself in the process. It's just a game. If you decide to skip the game because you are over the idea of games as a service, then that's also credible to you. Like, you can do what you want with your money and how you want with your money and with your time as well. And that's kind of how I feel about the size of the spectrum on this. Did it really need to go this far into stupidity town? Probably not. You didn't probably need to see a bunch of people say they want child Ivy sexualized, but hey, that's just me. I think some people online just not all the way there mentally, but we will see. Again, and I do believe the guy that was talking about the visualization having issues and saying that there was too many artifacts of things on screen screen, too many visual cues that was overwhelming him. I believe it was Caboose who said this. I think that is 100% reasonable and valid, and that's something that they need to fix for sure, because I don't want to be overwhelmed by sensory overload in an action game. I think that's something they definitely need to take into consideration and tone that down just a little bit. But until then, we will see what happens with that. At least that guy's like a lot more valid than most people online, so I'll give him that. I'll give him fucking credit for that, as opposed to the people that's trying to like shit on him hard. Like, at least he actually like got in, got his first impressions, told you what he liked, told you what he didn't like. If you decided to ignore it, then that's kind of your own damn fault, right? That's kind of how I see it. I look at the perspectives of that, and I wager what is really good and constructive, and all the destructive weird nonsense, it just has no meaning and no purpose, in my personal opinion. It's like whatever, right? That's not going to invalidate my enjoyment one way or the other. I already know what it says on the 10. Suicide Squad kill the Justice League, which is what I'm expecting to do in this game. For real, that's what I'm expecting to do. So we'll see how it goes when the game comes out. I will be talking about it. People can come in my live stream and sort of give questions as to how I feel about the game in my present state of time, and I will tell you what I think about it all, while also playing Tekken 8, because, you know, this is not my only interest. While I love comics, I also love some damn good Tekken, and I will be talking about that as well. So I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and once again, take care of yourselves. See you later. Peace out, and be safe in all this rain. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Oh.